So DC recently announced that the next big DC animated film alongside The Watchmen for DC animated movies will be the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, this is causing a lot of confusion because A, we don't know what universe is even set in the animation. Like, is it the War World one that we're getting now? Is it Tomorrowverse, the one revolved around Flashpoint paradox? What the hell kind of universe are we getting here for this movie? And again, we don't really know. Now, I think it's fair to say this is speculation right now. We don't know much at all besides this Crisis on Infinite Earths and first title's Justice League. So it's part of some big universe in the animated world. It's just how it will play out. What universe, we don't know. Now, like I was saying, there was speculation, or is speculation, to be saying that this will be the start of the Kickstarter or the reboot of the DC animated universe for movies and maybe the shows too. Some people are saying it could speculate that it goes directly into the new DCU that James Gunn is setting up for the movie side, which would be kind of dumb because then all the importance of being live action and the useless of being animation. The animated DC movies are bleeping amazing. Most of them. Some aren't, but most of them are amazing. And there's a reason for that. Because you can't do most of the crap they do in live action. They can't pull it off. Or even if they could pull it off, it wouldn't bring that kind of scale that the animation sets into place. It's a whole different vibe when you watch an animation compared to live action. Don't get me wrong, live action most time is amazing, but animation tends to do an amazing job with it. So, especially when it comes to DC and, Marvel, it's the Spider-Man, but we haven't really had animation with anything else from what I remember, besides What If, which even then is an amazing TV show for Marvel. But this is DC, and this is a movie. Now, the animated movies generally are like an hour to 2 hours long. Is that enough for Crisis? Yes. If they get to the important stuff, they get all that, don't focus on useless crap. Have a cameo fest, do all that, it'll work, right? My thing is that looking at this as a whole, will this affect live action? Because the Arrowverse had the Crisis on Infinite Earths and it set up Earth Prime and all these other Earths, including the DCEU, which I guess that Earth is still that Earth, I guess. I don't know what we're doing with DCU now, but, because they didn't establish it at all. That Grant's Flash was in the same multiverse as the DCU Flash, which if they're just connecting that, that's just stupid. Because Superman and Lois, Stargirl are both connected to the Arrowverse's multiverse, with the Arrowverse on Earth Prime, Stargirl on Earth 2, Superman and Lois on whatever Earth. And now we're with DCEU or DCU, it's on another Earth, Green Lantern on whatever Earth, the movie Green Lantern that Ryan Reynolds starred in. All these are heroes across different timelines, different years, decades, and centuries, all in separate Earths connected to the Arrowverse. That the multiverse out through the Arrowverse, I should say. Is it fair to say that the animation world could be connected to that? Yes. But how will that play out? Could we see the live action heroes in animation? Like, could we hear Grant's Flash come in, but it's Grant voicing his Flash? I think that'd be really cool, honestly, if we got that. To see Grant's Flash in animation, because it could really give us, like, an idea of, like, if they were to come back for the show, for Grant's Flash, and to see him in animation, hear Grant's voice in animation. Grant, we've already seen that in Vixen, but it would still be cool. But also the other Arrowverse heroes, or the DCU, like I said already, like, I don't know, Henry Cavill Superman if they wanted, Sasha Calle's Supergirl, or Ben Affleck's Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, George Clooney, I guess, is what they're doing now. Or David Cosnett, or what's his last name? It's not David Cosnett. Whoever the hell it is. Whoever's playing Superman Legacy. If they want to bring him in, they could do all that. Or is it just revolved around the animation world? Like Justice League Unlimited, Justice League, Batman Animated Series, Superman Animated Series, the Tomorrowverse, the Flashpoint Paradox world that they set up. Like, that was years ago, but you know what I mean? Or is it the new Justice League world that we have set up with War World and, which I guess is Tomorrowverse, right? But whatever. There's so many different universes, I lost track by now. I don't really care to keep up with the animation universe because it's like 10 different things going on. But like, it would be nice to know, like, hey, is this going to affect the animation world or live action or both or what's happening? Because we don't know. And I'm going to be honest with you, James Gunn really, to me, has no idea what the hell he's doing. And he did say, though, that there will be animation projects that he is doing, like Watchmen, which I think is one of the biggest projects he's probably going to be doing. But President Earth, you know, it can be a huge movie and can be a huge hit if they do it right. Now, the Flash movie, which was a multiversal movie and had cameos, I would expect a similar cameo fest in this movie. Because CW managed to pull off the biggest cameos in the history of live action across all of Marvel and DC in their version of Crisis. And it was amazing. You had the Adam West Robin show up. Brandon Ruth return as Superman. Tom Welling, Smallville Superman. I obviously closed that story on him, but you know what I mean. I mean, all these other... Kevin Conroy showed up. I mean, all these legacies showed up. So I would be genuinely surprised, because this movie's releasing in 2024, I think it was said. 2024, this movie will release. I would be genuinely surprised if they come out and say, yeah, there's no cameos in this movie, because that would be such a big disappointment from the live action side to the animation side. Now, again, they could animate all these live action people. It doesn't have to be live action. They can be animated, right? We don't even need voice actors. Just show them. Show them throughout different Earths, like their Earths being wiped out. It doesn't even need to be connected to live action. Unless they want it to be, which would be kind of weird, I guess. But, you know, they could easily just say, like, oh, the live action is its own multiverse with the Arrowverse, the Superman Lois, Stargirl, the DCU, DCEU, whatever. And then in another multiverse is the animation world with DC and all these universes that they set up. How would Crisis affect that? Because it'd probably only be like 5 or 6 Earths instead of like infinite. Well, I guess it could still be infinite because, you know, when we did Crisis, we only knew about like 6 or 7 universes anyway. So I guess it kind of worked. They could introduce like several different animation universes for the future and all that. So yeah, I guess it'd work. But again, the problem that I think we're facing here is this connected to DCU or will it connect? Because if it's going to connect, how is James Gunn going to play that out? Because then the important stuff will be done in live action and like the filler crap will be done in animation. I don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that. Because the animation world, like I said earlier, is genuinely amazing when it comes to DC films. Because the artwork, the stuff they do, the writing in most of these films really is incredible. Because most of it, like Dark Apocalypse, can't be done in live action. That is way too impossible to get done. It would take years for that to even be attempted in live action because of the CGI budget. And also the amount of actors you need for that kind of movie. And the amount of makeup you need, too, was insane to cover all that blood and gore and the arms ripping off and all that crap. It would be a huge thing to pull off. Maybe one day, but definitely not anytime soon with the movies we have now. So it is kind of worrying. While I'm excited for this, we need to learn more. Honestly, they just released like a poster for this, and that was it. So we're not, my expectations for expecting more, I wouldn't expect anything more until 2024 when it comes to this. As for Watchmen, which I believe James Gunn put forward, I could be wrong about that, but that movie may get a trailer this year. Again, I don't know anything. I'm just presuming things, or assuming things, not presuming. Assuming things. I'm assuming that James Gunn will make a trailer happen for Watchmen, which is another DC animated movie that's coming out in 2024. But that is just what I'm expecting. And we may learn some things between when the movie comes out and when Crisis on the Earth movie comes out and when, like, between now and then. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, obviously a trailer or two probably. But the trailer probably wouldn't come out until like a month before. I'd be generally surprised if it came out like months in advance. Unless they're trying to hype it up and they have a lot of content to show. But we also need to know how long the movie is, who's voicing who in the movie, what universe is part of. We don't need to know the cameos. Cameos can be a secret. That's a big thing for the Flash movie. We were also getting Flash cameos, and we all got disappointed. But this is Christopher the Nurse, okay? This is not, the Flash movie. And it's animation, like I said earlier. So we have the opportunity to get people that couldn't particularly come into live action. Like, let's say Grant Gustin, for example, couldn't come into live action because he was too busy, which, not an excuse for the Flash movie, by the way. He could have easily come in, but Andy Muschietti didn't want him in there. Gee, I wonder why. But, like, if Grant happens to be doing another job and they call him and say, hey, you want to voice your character in animation, you can't, they can still show him. And that's what's important here. We don't need to really just, like, worry about, them having to get the actors back or the voices back. All that really matters here is getting the characters shown in the movie, if they want to do that. That's all that really matters. And, I mean, the Flash movie, again, while the cameos kind of were CGI, crappy CGI, they did exactly what I was talking about with, Christopher Reeve Superman and, Adam West Batman, a fake Jay Garrick that had nothing to do with anything. Like, all these cameos, they did that through CGI. Now, an animation would be different because it's an animation budget and, whatever. But they could easily pull that off in animation way more than they could in live action because it actually looked better than it did in live action. Because you don't have the CGI. It'd just be purely animation because everything's already animation anyways. They save a lot of trouble. And budget, probably, I'm assuming. But, I wouldn't mind if, everything became animation, honestly, because I think, I mean, I know it's a lot of work for people, but, I mean, good lord, the way CGI budgets go these days for live action movies, just, let's just move to animation at this point. Like, I'd be down for it. I think we'd all be down for it. I mean, it'd be better than looking at crappy CGI and, if we can focus on the crappy writing and not the CGI. That'd be interesting to play out. But, it would be really cool if, all these cameos show up. If it does come to live action, how? Maybe the Spectre shows up from the Arrowverse, out of Queen, out of Stephen Amell. That'd be cool because, I mean, he is a protector in the multiverse, right? So if something goes wrong, you need to be there. So it'd be really cool to have him show up. It'd be kind of disappointing, though, if, like, the entire multiverse gets wiped out, including Earth Prime, if it's connected to live action. Because I think I'd be really frustrated about that one. As long as they show, like, okay, they're on another Earth now, which, again, would be trippy, but, it's what we gotta live with, I guess. But that would, I think, really work out in their favor if they were to do that. So, also, if it's connected to DCU, if it's, it just depends what really, truly does happen there and how that will all play out. So, we don't really know yet. But if we do get anything, I will most definitely do a video about it. Talking about it, letting you all know about it. Assuming that other YouTubers don't, which I'm pretty sure they will. But, yeah. So thank you guys for watching the video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. Let's see you next video. Bye, guys.